Testing. Hello? Testing sound. Testing 1, 2, 3. Banana buns. Hello everybody, and welcome to Henry's Kitchen live stream, where today we're going to be making Henry's famous homemade banana buns. Most likely when you hear the word banana, you probably, like all of us do, think about the image of an old lady or something slipping on a banana peel and breaking her hip in a comedy movie. And as funny as that is, bananas are really much more significant in a serious way. They contain potassium, which is a health benefit. And as a matter of fact, I have some factoids about bananas in general that I'm going to share with you. Really roughly going through the health benefits. Like I said, it's got potassium and good levels of protein and dietary fiber, which is good for your digestive system. But there's also negative side effects, which is high blood pressure, asthma, certain types of cancer, leukemia, diarrhea, diabetes, and that's about it. So you want to okay. Oh, Sharka Bubba Kiki just subscribed. So you know, all foods and drugs have risks associated with benefits, and every time that you put something in your body, you're taking a risk of some sort. So you don't really have to think too much about those health risks. A lot of them are long term. But generally speaking, bananas are very tasty, and again, very funny. Just looking at, oh yeah, I wanted to make a comment. I'm doing the best that I can in real time to answer your questions, and also to give shout outs when people subscribe and other things like this. Last time I didn't realize that someone named Mech at Work donated some bits and asked if I'd say hello to their dog Rosie, and I didn't see that, and I feel bad because their dog Rosie probably was looking for a hello during that period of time, and I wasn't there. So Mech at Work, I want to apologize for that, and I'm going to try to get better at doing this kind of thing in general. But in the meantime, let's start making some banana buns. Hold on. I just need to adjust the camera here. We're going to be starting by going through the ingredients. Okay, so the ingredients that we're going to be going through here today are, we've got some oil. I've got 1 large bowl for mixing. Okay. Some sugar. Oh, Archbounds just subscribed. Thank you for subscribing, Archbounds. And this is some flour. I've got baking powder here, which, remember, is not the same as baking soda. Soda is a carbonated beverage. Baking powder is a granular item. Oh, Holly Go Rock just subscribed. Thanks for subscribing, Holly. Obviously, we're going to need our banana. Normally, the recipe calls for 4 to 6 bananas. I'm using 1 banana, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of division. This is going to be very complicated, actually, because it says 4 to 6 bananas. We've got 1 banana, so I guess we have to divide it by 4 to 6. All of the ingredients. So, for example, Alexa, what is 4 to 6 divided by? Or
sorry, I didn't get that.
No, I didn't do that right.
4 to 6 divided by what?
Okay, if it says 2 cups of flour, for example, Alexa, what's 2 cups of flour divided by 4 to 6?
Here's something I found on the web.
Lilith Imperia.
Lilith.com. It equals 1.9375 cups of flour.
Alexa, stop. Lilith Imperial. And what was the name on that last one there?
Okay.
Annie has subscribed, and so has Herng.
Okay.
So I appreciate that. Okay. So sorry, I'm a little distracted here. Also, we have butter. We're going to be using loads of butter for this, and I have some half and half. The recipe calls for egg slurp. Just subscribe. Thank you. The recipe calls for milk, but this is half and half, which is half milk and half cream. So that's going to make our math even more difficult there. Alexa, what is 1 cup of milk times half and half?
Here's something I found on the web. 2 cups of milk weighs about 490 grams.
Okay, so we're gonna have a little bit of difficulty with the math, but
okay.
Oh, Potato Cat Breeder just subscribed. Thank you very much. I just want to say a quick note about ingredients in general. I think I demonstrated you once that these types of things, Submarine Atom, these types of things are only. Oh, Beelzebub has gifted 5 subs to viewers. Thanks, Beelzebub. So here we've got these teaspoons and also these cups. They don't. They're not accurate. So it doesn't really even matter sometimes. You just want to get a rough thing of it. But I mean, if we're dividing half and half with small portions of bananas, and it's supposed to be 4 to 6 anyway, we would be sitting here doing paperwork all day long, and that's not going to be fun for anybody. So I'm going to be doing the best that I can to roughly get through these ingredients with a minimal amount of math.
Okay.
Oh, Pat just subscribed. Thank you, Pat. Okay, well, without further ado, let's go ahead. Oh, and also some vanilla extract I've got there. So let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to take all these ingredients away for a second here. And we're going to start with our banana. So as you can see, I have here just one regular old banana, and it is old, I gotta say. Widen it a little bit here. Momebank Mango cheered. Thank you very much for cheering. Okay, so this banana looks pretty run-of-the-mill. Be careful when you dispose of your banana peels, because you will slip on these things, and it won't be funny if it happens to you. Alright, so I'm going to look at the first part of the ingredients here. No preheating of the oven in this case, I don't believe. We're going to peel the bananas, but in this case 1 banana, and we're going to place it into a large mixing bowl, and then we're going to mash it up. The stringy part you can just sort of dispose of. Okay, let's go ahead and mash this up with our whisk. Pink Clown cheered. Thanks for cheering. Can I use a cucumber if I don't have a banana, somebody said. You know, that's a good question. They'd be cucumber buns. Martian Assassin, thank you. So I'm not really sure what it would taste like. They probably wouldn't be quite as sweet, but yeah, cucumber buns, why not? As a matter of fact, that sounds like a pretty cool thing. All right. Frankie Ranky cheered. That's nice. Okay, so Henry, what is the best food if you can't smell or taste anything from COVID? Yeah, a lot of people nowadays have COVID, and if you can't smell or taste anything, that does not go away. That lasts forever. In some cases, that's a good thing. An anonymous cheered. Thank you. In some cases, that's going to be not such a bad thing because, you know, if you've got a roommate whose feet smell or something like that, you don't want to be smelling that. And I'd probably say there's more bad smells out there than good. It can be negative, though, because there's a scenario where you have gas or carbon monoxide or whatever in your house, and you should be able to smell that to get out. So I would suggest a meter for something like that. But if you can't smell or taste, that's okay. You can still cook. And who knows, maybe this stuff will even smell a little better. Okay, so this is pretty mashed up at this point. We're going to go on to the next section, which is add butter and sugar. And of butter, we're going to want to divide. So, sorry, I'm kind of lost in all my paperwork here. We want a cup of melted butter and brown sugar. Oh no. Okay, I don't have brown sugar, just the regular kind of sugar. And hopefully that's going to be okay. But we got a little math to do here. And like I mentioned, we're going to use loads of butter for this thing. I have a full stick. I guess it's probably in the refrigerator. Hold on real quick. Shit. Into the ink. Thanks for cheering. I don't seem to have my butter, which is a problem, but more half and half, I think, will probably be the solution to that. So sorry about that. I saw the container and assumed that there was butter in it. So let's go ahead and put our sugar in. We want 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. I don't have brown sugar. I'm going to do the regular. But Alexa, what is 1/4 of 3/4 of a cup of sugar?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, half of 3/4 of a cup of sugar is 3/8 of a cup of sugar, or 6 tablespoons.
6 tablespoons sugar. Does anybody know how many I did? Shit. You're supposed to count while you're doing it, and I wasn't. But somebody said I did 6, so there you go. That's 6 cups of sugar. Next up, and again, we don't have butter. We'll see if that becomes a problem. I doubt it. I'm going to do just a little bit of half and half to pretend like that's the butter, because they both come from the same cow or whatever. Okay, so next up we're going to add egg. Okay, I guess I need an egg also, which I didn't think of. Fortunately, I do have an egg. Make sure, guys, that you get all of your ingredients together in the beginning. So we will be adding here 1 egg, And to dispose of the eggshell, I usually like to put it back in the carton and then just throw the whole thing away. Actually, the carton I think is recycling, so I'll probably have to do something different with that. But okay, we've got salt, baking powder, and flour. Okay, so for our flour, we want 1 cup. But again, we're not going to use 1 cup. We're only going to use 1/4 of a cup of flour because we're dividing. And like I said, this isn't even 1/4 of a cup anyway. So here we go. And as we go, if we find that there's some ingredients that seem to be lacking, we can always correct those as we go. Okay, and so we need the baking powder here. Of baking powder, we only need 1 teaspoon. Where's my teaspoons? The hell, man. Did anybody see where I put the teaspoons? Oh, okay, they were under the paperwork. Okay, so I guess we're just going to do 1 full teaspoon of baking powder, which I've got here. I'm going to add that in there. Other than that, yeah, a little bit of salt. I've got some Celtic sea salt here. And I'm just going to do a pinch. I think it asks for 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and we only want 1/4 of that, so who knows, you know. But if you just put a little bit of salt in there, it should be all right. Next up, we are going to add our vanilla extract, which I have here, and it wants 1/2 teaspoon. That's going to be 1/8 of a teaspoon, so I'm going to use half a teaspoon. You don't want to go too crazy with any kind of extract. Okay. Next up, we are going to be adding our milk. So of milk.
Okay.
Hey, Super J TV just subscribed, so thank you for that. Milk, we want. I don't know why I'm not seeing. Patrick just subscribed. Oh yeah, 1/4 cup of milk. So we're gonna do 1/4 of a quarter. So that would be, Alexa, what's 1/4 of a quarter of a cup?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, 1/16 of a cup is 1/4 of a quarter cup.
Okay, so apparently what they want is about 1/4 of a quarter of a cup. So that vanilla is looking weird. Okay, so let's put this away. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna mix this all together. I'll be stirring this for a little bit, so this is a good time if anybody has any questions. Somebody says it looks scuffed. I don't know what that is. Half milk. Somebody asked, you can really see the vanilla. Banana on pizza. Is this vegan? This isn't vegan. The vanilla wasn't moldy. I'm starting to have some kind of weird suspicion about this. Hold on.
Okay.
I want to thank that person for subscribing when I was getting my stuff. Dapisu, thank you. Okay, so this has happened before. This is vanilla extract, guys. I think this might have actually been food coloring. The problem is I used to have a vanilla that looked exactly like this. And so I'm going to add our vanilla anyway because we want that flavoring. But I'm a little pissed off that they make these things so that they look so similar. And with no label on it. I mean, there's literally, if you look at this, there's... How would anybody in their right mind know that was going to be food coloring? Okay, but I believe food coloring only makes things look a certain way. It doesn't have a flavor to it. So we're going to continue to do this. And I can tell you, because I've made this before, this looks very wet. So we're going to need to add some more flour. I think something might have gone wrong in the math. So I'm going to do another 1/4 cup of flour. And here we go. Let's see. So yeah, I think that kind of explains the whole thing there. Somebody asked if I would have children. I mean, it's possible. It's possible that I already do, and you know, I mean, wow, that's a really deep question. I would probably say no at this point. I wouldn't mind adopting someone to help me cook, I guess. But I think you can just get an intern or something for that. Okay, so now this is starting to get the right consistency here, and I'm liking that. I still do feel like there's a little something missing. But yeah, that's gonna have to go ahead and do. All right, so let's get ready for the next step here. Here we go. I have a pan here. It's very dirty, so I'm gonna line it with tin foil, which I have here.
Okay.
Or say 1996, just subscribe.
Okay.
And so did Kalb Schnitzler. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. We've got our foil-lined tin cookie sheet. Aluminum foil, I should say. Tin foil is passé, maybe even politically incorrect. But let's go ahead and start clumping our banana bun mixture and starting to make balls out of them. So the directions here: clump the dough into your balls and lay them out on a foil-lined cookie sheet, then bake for 20 minutes. Okay, so it is going to have you do have to, see, I have to put this thing on. Always preheat your oven whether you see it in the thing or not, because most likely that's going to be something that you're going to have to do. Alright guys, let's start making banana buns here. We're going to just, by hand basically. Okay, no. This is too lumpy, or it's too wet, so I'm going to go ahead and just add more flour, I think is the problem. Something went wrong in that math, but that's why we improvise when we're in the kitchen here. And I'm going to have to stir this left-handedly. I'm going to... Son of a bitch. I'm just going to wash my hand. If you're making this at home, I'd like to see how it's going. I have a Discord that you can join where you can always keep up on what the recipes are going to be the day before. And people have been very good about signing up for that. And what's the history behind this dish? Behind banana buns? Well, bananas are one of those one of those fruits that's been around for hundreds of years, and in the olden times, if you wanted to make any kind of dessert item, they would have to use, I mean, the sweetest thing they could find was a fruit like a banana. You'd have apple pie and plum pie and peach cobbler and all this stuff. So somebody finally said, well, what can we do with bananas? And they started making banana buns. Now, of course, you can add all kinds of sugar and everything to make it more interesting, but back then it was basically just banana, flour, and that's pretty much it. Okay, this should start working a little better now, hopefully. I really do wonder sometimes if there's something here that didn't end up in there, but I'm not sure. Okay, let's start making clumps, and however it comes out, it comes out. But we basically want to clump these. These are probably going to be a little bit more like cookies. You know, a lot of times when you're doing these types of things, I'll go back and look at the video later on to try to figure out what I missed. And I don't think there's any doubt I missed something here, because this is not right. It's supposed to be, you know, that you form the dough like a pizza dough and you make it into buns. But no matter how much flour I put in these, it seems to be coming out juicy. So reading some of your comments to see if anybody has it. Why is it blue? Somebody asked. Oh, if you're just tuning in right now, we're trying to make banana buns, and it asked for vanilla extract, and I had a container that looked exactly like it, but it was some kind of food coloring, and I don't know, I'm gonna write a pretty angry letter to whoever's stupid idea that was to make it look exactly like vanilla, because they didn't even have a name on it. I can't scroll down the comments just yet because my hands are full, obviously. But yeah, this is one of those recipes that's not necessarily going the way that we want it to, and that happens. So I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands here. When you're dealing with food coloring, you've got all kinds of issues, because if you try to wash your hands on a towel or something like that, you'll find that you get whatever the towel is all blue. So you want to try to be careful about that. All right, now that we've got our dough clumped into balls and lying on a foil-lined cookie sheet, we're going to bake this for 20 minutes at 350 degrees. It's not quite at 350 degrees yet, so maybe this is a good time for me to answer any questions that you might have. Someone says it looks like a great painting. That's very nice. I think you're being generous. Let's see some other things. 350 minutes at 20 degrees. That's what it is, I think. Red dye number 40. I think this is blue. Would you say hi to my friend Moon Moon? He's sick with ATM balditas. Okay. Moon Moon, I'm not sure what ATM balditas is, but very sorry. It doesn't sound good, so I hope that you feel better. Somebody said they didn't have food coloring, so they used paint. I want to make this very clear. The food coloring is not an intentional part of this dish. It just ended up in there. But I did put it doesn't have any flavor, so it's only going to affect the coloration. But it's also, I put the vanilla in there, so it should be fine. Someone said he's very bald. I guess you're talking about me. Yeah, you can tell because the light shines on the top of my head. Some artists were famous for just throwing paint at a canvas, and foil is just like a cook's canvas. This is true. Let's see. What is was that Rin-Tin tin foil I was using? I'm not sure if that's a particular brand, but no, this was aluminum foil. Someone said I'm the Jackson Pollock of cooking. I think he was a successful artist, so I'm happy to hear that. Okay, I'm gonna put this back on here. Whoops. That's my roast beef cam. That's my cat. I'd like to use some of this remaining dough here. You know what? The dough on the bottom is actually, this one's getting pretty clumpy like a regular bun. I'm starting to think that maybe I was supposed to put this in the refrigerator or let it sit for a while, or maybe I didn't stir it up quite enough, but it's definitely starting to firm up and look a little bit more like a bun type product. So maybe that one will be correct in terms of how this is supposed to come out. But there you have it. So we've used all of our dough, and I think we're just about ready to put this in the oven. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So again, we're going to put this, if you're just joining us, we're making Henry's homemade banana buns. And usually they come out a little bit more of a bun form. I had to do a lot of math I didn't have butter, I had half and half, and the recipe is supposed to be 4 to 6. Serve 4 to 6, and I've only got one, so I don't know if that's 1 to 2 or 1 to 2/10 or something like that, but this is basically what ended up happening, is that we got the proportions wrong. I tried to correct it with a little bit more flour, but no matter how much flour I put in there, I wasn't able to get it into a dough form, and I used food coloring instead of vanilla, which doesn't really affect it much. But okay, there you go. So our oven has rung, so this is going to be 350 minutes at 20 degrees. And we're going to leave it in there. Alexa, set timer for 20 minutes.
20 minutes, starting now.
All right. Well, maybe this would be a good time to do some music here. I hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Mine is going okay, except for that this dish is a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. But I'm going to go ahead and do a little song here that's very melancholy. Melancholy means half sad and half kind of happy, and I think it's pretty. It's that's D major 7 to G major 7, in case anybody wants to play along at home. It's a song called All Alone. Well, I'd rather be all alone than to spend my life thinking about the choices that I made and how I'd change them if I could. And I'd rather be all alone than to have my heart broken. I could live on a deserted island as long as there was food. Duval-eyed cord cheered. Thank you. I'm still not completely clear on what cheering is, but it sounds positive. Let's see here if there's some more comments from anybody or questions. If it's too wet, you can just cook it longer. My grandma taught me that. Okay, well maybe we should add a little bit to the time. That's actually a good call. Did I spray cooking spray on the pan? No, I did not. That probably would have been a good idea. Guys, I'm not quite sure how these banana buns are going to taste, or look for that matter. So my apologies. But I always like to say that if mine don't come out good...
Okay.
Oh, Black Bowtie just subscribed. That's very nice. If mine don't come out good, hopefully that encourages you. You know, so much of cooking is having self-confidence, and if you look at somebody like me, I've been cooking now for at least 7 years. I've had my own YouTube channel teaching it for more than 10 years. And they don't just give a YouTube channel to anybody who wants to teach people how to cook. I mean, they do actually, but either way, I was teaching it even before I knew how to cook, and I think that speaks volumes. Well, I'd rather be all alone than to spend my life thinking about the choices that I made and how they weren't very good. And I'd rather be all alone than to have my heart broken. I could live on a deserted island as long as they had food. Thanks everybody. That's All Alone. A song by by Jose Suicidio. Martian Assassin just cheered. So thank you for cheering there. We've got a little time here. Somebody said do a lot of meth. I think that was a typo. They meant math.
Okay.
Love Bombs just subscribed. Thank you, Love Bombs. Blue cookies are a sign of STD. That could be. I'm not sure. Somebody's proud of my math. Thank you. Looks like a Smurf went through a grinder. That's clever, and I think you're absolutely right. Actually, Paint Clown. Thanks for cheering. They'll rise in the oven and they'll look great. Oh, that's the best news I've heard. Yo Aaron has gifted 5 subs to viewers. Thanks, Yo Aaron. So yeah, that was a very positive thing that somebody said, that they're going to rise. Phases just subscribed. Thanks, Phases. So why don't I go ahead and do, we've still got a little bit of time here. Oh, Scorchman 1337. What about some beef Wellington next week? Make it a single serving. Beef Wellington is one of those dishes that you have to work your way up to. I'm going to try. That's a great idea. I'm not sure if that's a Wednesday thing or more of a Sunday thing, but it definitely is a thing. So somebody says I need to, okay, that can happen to anybody. That's cool. I'm not sure which thing that was a response to. There's a lot of comments here, guys, so thank you very much. All right, so next thing we're going to do here is I want to teach you, let's go ahead and play the Henry's Kitchen game here. So this is a game that my friend invented, and it basically is very similar to working in the kitchen cooking, but in game form. And sometimes a game is the best way to teach somebody how to do something. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Sorry.
Okay.
Hey, Fluid Arc just subscribed. Okay, so here we go. Here we have the game. This is the Henry's Kitchen game. And all you're going to be using for controls is just these two buttons, the left and the right arrow. So if you're on the phone, you want to turn it sideways, but there are instructions, but I'm just going to tell you. Cook. To cook. Oh, and we have some great moderators that could give you a link to the game.
Made.
But it's mrmarkcohen.com/HK. And it's free. And
Sandwich made.
what you're doing basically is you're trying to make sandwiches, and you have to collect ingredients. So if you have one peanut butter, one jelly, and one bread, that's one sandwich.
Nice.
And you can see there's a tally there on the right that tells you how you're doing.
Yeah. Sandwich made. Sandwich made. Great.
The strategy in the beginning of the game is basically to catch every ingredient you want. Now you got to watch out though, because there's onions, rats, and insects that keep trying to get into your sandwich. And you don't want that. So
Sandwich made.
you have to avoid that.
Yeah.
And you get a free life in 30.
Great.
But that's pretty much all that there is. Each game takes about 3 or 4 minutes. But I will say there's some people that have scores that are so good that it makes me wonder if there's some way, some special way to do it. Because I've never been able to get close. But there's somebody on there who's got 98. We'll see afterward when we look at the scores. But this one's not going bad. Let's see if I can answer some questions while we're doing this. I don't want to.
Sandwich made.
Well, here we go.
Bread. Down.
Oh no. Okay.
Nice.
Let's see.
Sandwich made.
It's really hard for me to. I don't know how professional streamers are able to answer questions and play a challenging game at the same time. Somebody says, "What's hardest, for two or playing the guitar?"
Peanut butter.
Oh, cooking for two or playing the guitar. The guitar is a very difficult instrument to master. I've probably spent more time on the guitar than I have cooking, except for not in the last 10 years or so. Okay, so here we go. It looks like I'm about to get myself a free life, so I'm going to make up for that one that I lost.
Peanut butter made.
Alright, so they're going to start coming down a lot faster now.
Jelly. Sandwich made.
Got 32.
Awesome. Sandwich made.
If you've got a high score on here, please let me know.
Sandwich made. Yeah. Sandwich
I'll
made.
give you a shout out at the end. Well, you'll see it on here. Alright, so now it's time for me to take a look at the at the screen.
They're
still coming down pretty evenly, so but basically I want to get an even distribution of it.
Peanut butter. Woohoo! Great.
This requires a pretty immense amount of skill, probably more than it does
bread. Awesome.
To make banana buns.
Peanut butter. Nice.
All right, I only have one more life, so this one didn't turn out to be very good.
That sucks.
Okay. I think my fingers got stuck on that one. All right, so I'm going to put in my score, HP, and click enter. But we're going to look at some of these. Shebez got 98. Too Much Cherry 91.
Who swept me off my...
We can turn off the music. Nim is poo-poo, so that, to me, that sounds like a challenge. Somebody's asking Nim to come and play, but they have 88. Too Much Cherry, Shebez, Pro, Sad, Dr. Disrespect, Too Much Cherry, Bumbles, Forsen. I don't know if that's the Forsen or if they just put that name. And Bumble Vision, who's been very helpful with technical stuff too. So and doing a great job on the game. Okay.
Mixing in the bowling. I just got
Let's be done with that here. Okay, so we're getting pretty close. I'm just going to answer a few more questions. Alexa, how much time is left on the timer?
You have 7 minutes and 40 seconds left on your
7
20-minute
minutes.
timer.
Okay, Electric Goblin has gifted 5 subs to viewers, so that's pretty cool. This the Twitch thing is still very relatively new to me. It's been about a month and a half now, but I appreciate all the support. As a matter of fact, maybe this is a good time for me to give a shout out to all these people that have been helping me out so much. Some wonderful moderators, Dingo Bop and Fawcan, Dom Beef, Hottest Bear, Do Dingle, Doggy, and Dr. Flanges. And they've also been helping me out with the Discord thing too. I mean, this is all very new to me. I mean, the last platform that I got on was Facebook. So it's been quite a while since I've messed around with any of these new ones. So I also want to thank people who have offered support here and there, like Bakus, Daisy Blossom, Melon95, and Pilskman. And I always like to say a special thank you to Nim, because I don't know how many of you remember, but last year we did a collaboration where I taught him how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and we've also done a little bit more correspondence, and he's basically the one who got me here on Twitch.
Okay.
And Dignity Level just subscribed, thank you. Also, very special thanks to Bumblevision, who's been very helpful, and the LGX. These are Twitch channels. Bill Larkin, who is my friend for years, has a channel on there where he sings songs and makes them up, and it's unbelievable what he does. So thanks, Bill, for helping me out with this stuff too. And also Forsen, who I've never met, but has sent a lot of people my way, and I appreciate that. We're getting close. Alexa.
Okay.
Oh, Larkland just subscribed.
This might answer your question. Scatman John official YouTube channel, also called John Larkin, has 364,000 YouTube subscribers.
Alexa, how much time left on the timer?
You have 5 minutes and 20 seconds left on your 20-minute timer.
Okay, we're getting there, so maybe we'll do just a little bit of cleanup here. Cleaning up is always an important thing. I've got our, oh yeah, more important than cleaning up, we're going to have to start preparing for our plating session. Alright, I just tasted some of that dough and it's nasty, but that's okay because it's not supposed to taste good until you put it in the oven. And I'm actually surprised because I put a lot of sugar in there, so I'm not sure exactly what happened. But let's go ahead and clean up this plate and get it all ready for when we plate it with our banana buns. I do have to say that generally speaking, these this particular dish has turned out to be probably more messy than most of the other ones that I've messed around with, so I apologize for that. Also, I had oil here. I don't think we even wind up using that, but that's okay. A lot of times you're going to wind up not using many of the ingredients that you have in your kitchen. I'm also going to remove this. A lot of people might remember this from last time. It's a pot and a hot plate. I thought I was going to be needing this for today, but I don't. And I wish I would have known that because it was kind of a pain in the ass to take all this stuff out. But here we go. I can smell it. And hopefully if you're making this at home, you can smell it well too. I smell a little bit of banana in there, but I'm mostly smelling flour and kind of, I don't know, like sort of a sulfury kind of a thing. Okay. In the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and just grab our balls from the oven. Let's see. Sorry about that, I said balls, but it's actually buns. Wow, this is very hot. Okay, you know, in a weird way, this is not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to come out. I do want to say it's possible to make these as banana balls, where you put them into ball form. You could either do that by hand, or you could use the Baby Cakes cake pop maker, which I used last time. But these are very clearly actually buns. Let me make sure that this camera's on. I think it went off for some reason. Yeah, no, something. I have to change the battery, I think, so. Alright, I'm going to work with a technical thing here real quick. In the meantime, I'm just going to show you a little bit of an exclusive Henry's Kitchen video that maybe some of you have seen if you're on the Patreon, but I think this is brand new to most. And I'm going to fix this camera situation in the meantime, so here you go. Hello everybody, and welcome to Henry's Kitchen, where today we're going to be making Henry's long weekend 8-hour croutons. This is a very time-intensive dish, and it's very difficult to make, so I would recommend doing it on a long weekend like Memorial Day or Labor Day or 4th of July, because you're going to need those extra hours, and it's maybe not as rewarding as a lot of the other Henry's Kitchen dishes, but let's get started. We're going to start by taking 2 old pieces of bread. It needs to be stale because it's easier to cut that way. And this is very stale bread that I'm using. The idea is that we want to cut the bread along with the grain, which is usually vertically. Sometimes it's hard to tell. You know, I was trying to make Brussels sprouts the other day and I herniated a disc in my neck. Which is no fun at all. I had to go to the hospital, and I've been doing all kinds of physical therapy exercises. Be careful out there. Alexa, stop timer. Okay, so now we're just going to tidy these up, and we're going to put them on a separate plate. We'll just set them aside for now while we mix our spices. We're going to start by putting 5 caps of olive oil into a mixing bowl. We'll add our spices. Some chili powder, salt to taste, ground peppercorns, some cumin, sage, stoked paprika, chili powder, and onion powder, parsley, some cumin, some marjoram, and some garlic powder, dried dill weed. Okay everybody, that was a little bit of my croutons recipe. We'll watch the rest of that some other time, but in the meantime we've got some very important business to do right here while we're live. We've got our banana buns, so hopefully this camera works now. Yeah, there we go. See if we can get a good look at these. So I thought when we were cooking, when we put them in there, I thought they were gonna come out messed up because you know, we had so many things working against us. But actually, after, somebody was right when they said that when you cook it, it actually rises and starts to take more of an actual bun form. So these are actually pretty good looking buns. I'm going to use my wedger, and I'm just going to try to pry them off of the tin foil, which will be a little tricky because, as somebody said, I didn't use anything to spray it down. Another challenging thing is that this is very hot. You don't want to have any tin foil on these things. If you ingest aluminum foil, it takes me a while to get used to these things. If you ingest aluminum foil, you are looking at poisoning. And you do not want that, especially if you're serving it to people, because you could actually go to jail for something like this. But I think I got all the tin foil off. So there you go. I mean, this is a bun. It's, you know, not going to win any awards for appearance, but I would say for the most part, this came out pretty much the way that we were expecting it to come out. Yeah. And this is going to serve probably about, well, I guess just one person. 4 to 6 was the original recipe, but we did a lot of division and such. So, now for the fun part, eating it. Caucasian Psy, PSY, cheered. So thanks for cheering. Well, everybody, this is Henry's homemade banana buns. I've made them before, and they came out a little bit smoother than this, but you know what? I'm going to say this tastes damn good. When I was a kid, I had a babysitter who wanted to cook, and we had Play-Doh, and I guess my babysitter had never heard of Play-Doh and thought that it was real dough, and so we made cookies out of it. And I think I was just taken back to that time, because this tastes kind of similar. I'm not saying it's bad. This is definitely sweeter, but this is a good bun. It doesn't look like banana buns, but that's exactly what it is. In fact, I might bundle up some of these and give them to my neighbor. They probably could use a little more sugar. I'm getting a salty thing going on. And it's just occurring to me now that we did put a lot of sea salt in there. Hey, Super Potatoes 1989 just cheered or did something like that. So thank you very much. Okay, so we used a lot more salt than we probably should have. Maybe not enough sugar. We also used food coloring instead of vanilla. But if you correct a couple of those things, what you have here... Okay. Hey, Gabby J just subscribed, so thank you very much. What you have here is a pretty damn good banana bun. It's something I'm going to recommend for you guys to make, and let me know what they look like. There was something I was going to do here. Oh yeah. So let's go ahead and start plating it. I'm just going to take some of the better pieces. This is going to be for my neighbor. And I'm not sure if I have a piece of plastic wrap or not, but we could put a little bit of tin foil. Or you know what, I can put it in a storage bag here. What's going on here? Anyway. No, you know what? I'm just going to get them like this. I'm going to give these to my neighbor. Henry's homemade banana buns. Just like they used to make hundreds of years ago when they first discovered bananas and buns. So there you have it, everybody. If you're making them at home, I hope yours looked just as good as those. You should add some Play-Doh as a little surprise. Shit Romney, TT Romney, thanks for subscribing. Somebody said I look like the guy in Silicon Valley TV series. Thank you. Thank you for smashing that Prime button. Oh, that was the Henry's Kitchen bot that was responding to that. Still trying to get better at this. Just leave the plate in front of his door and he'll find them eventually. Talking about the my neighbor, so that's good. Thanks for the history lesson on the discovery of the bananas/buns. No problem. And don't forget to smash it. So I think that's a good place to end. Don't forget to smash it. That was Blaze God who said that. That's a great rule of thumb. No matter what you're doing, whether you're cooking or you're driving or whatever. So until next time, you guys, don't forget to smash it. Thank you to everybody for continuing to support the Henry's Kitchen live streams here. I'm going to be doing the beef Wellington. I've had a few people ask for that, and it's sort of the Arc de Triomphe, if you will, of cooking. And so I'm going to try to get to work on that. But in the meantime, I want to say thank you sincerely to everybody, and I hope you had a good weekend, or I hope you're having a good weekend. Maybe go outside for a walk. And this recipe, I'm going to own it because it actually tasted pretty good, even though it looked kind of weird. Martian Assassin, thanks for all the cheering. And everybody, I just want to thank you, and I'll see you on Wednesday at 11 a.m. as always. Thanks, everybody. Have a good week.